Ask any baseball fan what part of their team frustrates them the most. Roughly 12,000% of them will answer, the bullpen. We often remember when they blow it and forget when they don't. It's one of the toughest jobs in sports, and nowhere is the job harder than in the thin air and vast expanse of Colorado. You may be inclined to think the Rockies haven't had any great relievers, but the following pitchers have overcome more obstacles than most. I'm Drew Creasman, and these are my picks for the Colorado Rockies' top 10 relievers of all time. To help keep some of these stats in context, note that Ubaldo Jimenez is tops in franchise history in ERA with 3.66, and also the park and league-adjusted stat ERA Plus with 1.28. Let's see how these relievers stack up. In at number 10, it's number 0, Adam Ottavino. It was never smooth sailing for Otto in Denver. His tenure is marred by injuries and a few dreadful moments, but his work in 2018 as one of the most dominant relievers in baseball came at just the right time to help guide the Rockies to their second-best win total ever. His 1.95 ERA plus that season ranks as one of the best single-season marks in club history. Number 9, Scott Oberg. Like Ottavino, Oberg doesn't have a long list of accomplishments in Colorado, but he does have one of the most distinguished, striking out the final 4 Chicago Cubs who came to the plate in the 2018 National League wildcard game, sealing the Rockies' most important save since 2009. Putting up a 1.93 ERA plus in 2018 and an eye-popping 2.30 ERA plus in 2019, Oberg produced maybe the most impressive back-to-back campaigns for any Rockies reliever ever. Even more so when you note that he did it all while the rest of the bullpen around him was completely falling apart. Number 8, Darren Holmes. Younger fans may remember Holmes as the coach for the first 2 guys on this list, but back in 1995, he was a part of maybe the most dominant pen the Mountain Range has ever seen. He averaged an ERA plus of 1.16 over 5 years at altitude, but his best came in the fated first postseason of the Rocks, wherein he posted an ERA plus of 1.16 and collected 14 saves. He gets extra points for finding consistency and excellence in the pre-humidor/steroid era, and for returning years later to keep trying to solve the puzzle at 20th and Blake. Number 7, Manuel Corpus. Yes, this is all about 2007. It was easily the best year in Rockies history and also Manny Corpus history. And those 2 things were not unrelated. When the stalwart and captain of the bullpen lost his way mid-season, Clint Hurdle turned to a closer who had only 32 innings of work before that year. Corpus went on an absolute tear over the next 78 innings, putting up a 2.08 ERA and a 2.32 ERA plus, recording 19 saves. He got even better in the postseason, tossing 10.1 innings with an 0.87 ERA, 7 strikeouts to 0 walks, and 5 more saves. Without Manny Corpus, Rocktober would probably just be a German music festival. Number 6, Bruce Ruffin. If you don't know him, think of Bruce Ruffin as the Jorge De La Rosa of the bullpen. Somehow, after having only okay seasons elsewhere, the big lefty found himself, both literally and figuratively, in Denver in his 30s. After a decent year starting, he moved to relief full-time, and while he ironically was never able to pick up a ton of innings, he pitched with exceptional quality, averaging a 1.33 ERA plus over 5 seasons. Though he only contributed 34 innings, he too was a part of the vaunted 95 pen, posting an ERA of 2.12 and picking up 11 saves. Number 5, Rafael Betancourt. Betancourt had one of the unlikeliest careers in Rockies history. After nearly a decade of fantastic work in Cleveland, he came to Colorado and, get this, just kept being pretty much the exact same pitcher he had always been. Weird, right? The Venezuelan righty spent ages 34 to 40 with the Rockies and posted an ERA of 3.53 and an ERA plus of 1.31. Despite spending only 1 season as the club's primary closer, he still ranks 6th in franchise history with 58 saves. It may have taken him forever to finally throw a pitch, but once he eventually did, it was usually a pretty good pitch. Number 4. Houston Street. 2009 was the most successful regular season in Rockies history, thanks in large part to the fact that their closer, Houston Street, blew only 2 saves during the season, converting 35. His 84 total saves in Colorado rank 3rd all-time, and his .350 ERA is 2nd best. He spent only 3 seasons in Denver, all of them well above the league average. In fact, throughout his entire career, he posted an incredible 141 ERA+, 133 for the Rocks, and he had only 1 season, the very last of his 13-year career, in which he was below average. Number 3, Jose Jimenez. One of the biggest reasons for doing lists like this is for players like Jose Jimenez. Forgotten a bit to history, his 102 saves from 2000 to 2003 rank 2nd in team history. His raw .413 ERA made him tough to endear to fans and media, but an ERA plus of 126 shows us a reliever who handled pre-humidor and steroid-era Coors Field better than almost anyone. His first 3 seasons were dominant, with 199 innings pitched at a 149 ERA plus clip. If ever there was a player who Rockies fans wish they could transport off the team he was on into a different era where his contributions would have made a dramatic difference, his name is Jose Jimenez. Number 2, Steve Reed. If we didn't have statistics to prove it, I would not believe you that Steve Reed's career ever happened. Never the closer for Colorado, he recorded only 15 saves in a Rockies uniform. So what's he doing all the way up here at number 2? He pitched 15 innings as a rookie for San Francisco before becoming a member of the inaugural Rockies in 1993 and putting up a pair of pretty good seasons, especially when viewed through an historic lens. Then, in 1995, he anchored the best bullpen in Rockies history by appearing in 71 games, throwing 84 innings, and posting an ERA plus of 251. He cooled off but remained more than quality for 2 more seasons before bouncing around the league for 6 years. And then things get really wild. He returned to Colorado at age 38 and posted 2 more years of well above average relief. All told, Steve Reed threw 499 innings over 7 seasons for the Rockies. He struck out 352 and walked 67. Every Rockies team ever could have used Steve Reed. And in at number 1, Brian Fuentes. His teammates called him Tito. His statistics call him easily the greatest Rockies reliever ever. He comfortably sits in first place in franchise history in saves with 115, games finished with 243, ERA at 338, and ERA plus at 144. He appeared in 3 All-Star games and had just 1 below-average season over 7 campaigns in Colorado. Though he did lose his closer job to Manny Corpus in 2007, terrible timing for him personally, the team arguably never would have made Rocktober happen if he hadn't so graciously and capably taken over as the setup man without causing any issues. In a place where plenty of pitchers have been spit up and chewed out with reckless abandon, Brian Fuentes both endured and dominated, making himself the best pitcher that any Colorado Rockies skipper has called for out of the bullpen. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe below. Don't forget to check out the other Colorado Rockies top 10s right here on YouTube. And until next time, I will see you at the ballpark.